Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about a specific chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16. Actually, in specific texts 1 through 3, but there's so much in it that I just want to break it down over the next couple of weeks because there's so much to talk about. And I figured I don't want to rush everything and then you guys are not going to understand everything. Now, with respect to this, this chapter is basically about the qualities that Krishna, in this text, thinks that humans should have, positive qualities. So, with respect to that, today I'm going to be talking to you about fearlessness, why you shouldn't fear. So, just randomly, do any of you know what happened this Friday? Something really exciting, something actually, I think it broke the world record. Something happened this Friday. Does anyone know? Yeah? Someone walked over Niagara Falls. So Nick Walenda, he actually was the first person to walk across Niagara Falls from America to Canada on a tightrope about 1,800 feet. So, I mean, honestly, that takes a lot of courage. Like, even I was watching and I was so scared for him, and I wasn't even, like, close to him at all. So you can imagine how much, courage he had, and, he was very fearless about it. I'm not asking all of you to start jumping, down buildings 20 feet, like, oh, I'm fearless, and all that. No, nothing like that, but it just sort of helps you put into, context. It's actually a very good example of being fearless. In an interview, he mentioned something, and I thought this was quite interesting because it relates to our class. He mentioned he prays a lot, or while he was walking across, he did a lot of praying. And I think that's very important because, once again, you have to always sort of keep in the side of your head, God is here, and God will protect you and sort of be there for you. So praying sort of gives you that connection with God, so you don't fear. Yeah? So I thought that was quite interesting. What does fear mean to you? What are you guys scared of? Put your hands up. Anything. What scares you? Yeah. Giant robot. Okay, alright. Ghosts, yeah, that scares me sometimes too, yeah? Blood. Oh, okay. Anything else? Anything that scares you? Come on, there's so many things, like, you guys see a bug and you start running the other way. I know I do, but... So, like, I know some people that are scared of clowns, spiders, monsters, I don't know whether they exist or not, and the dark. These are the things that sort of scare you, but why do you actually have to be scared of them? Like, honestly, you really don't have to be, because the reason why we get scared of it is because media, TV, radio makes us portrays these things in a bad limelight, which is why we feel scared. It's not like we've encountered a monster and like, oh, I've seen one, it came and attacked me. No, we see it on TV shows and movies and everything, right? So the actual definition of fear is it's an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous or it's causing you to feel, threatened. It's also the nature of human beings to be scared, because in the Bhagavad Gita it does mention 4 qualities or activities that humans do every day: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Defending is something that you do every day. You just basically, you always think to yourself, you sometimes you can be defensive if there's a dog in front of you and it doesn't have a leash. You're quite scared, like you don't know anything about the dog. You just think to yourself, oh God, I hope it doesn't bite me. But you have that defensive nature in you, and it's normal. But what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to get through to you is, don't be scared, because when you are scared, it's preventing you from sort of learning to do new things. It stops you from opportunities. So it's something to keep in mind all the time. How do we become fearless? How do we become fearless? What do you guys think? How can we conquer being scared? Yes?
Think that God is within you.
That's very good. That's a very good point. Think that God is within you. Another good way of doing it is taking up devotional service. Just like what Sahid and I did today, he did some prayers. That's devotional service. doing devotional service sort of brings you to God closer. You know what I mean? You get that personal connection, and it's really important to do that because then you feel like God's with you. So devotional service, even if it's just cleaning your altar or at home or just putting some flowers or giving some water to the God, it's still devotional service. Another thing I thought was quite interesting was sincerity. When you're doing anything for God, even if it's the smallest thing, do it without needing or wanting anything extra. Do it because you want to do it, and God will take care of the rest. Now, this fear can only be removed, okay, if you have this personal connection with God, which means when you keep thinking to yourself, you trust Him and you put your full trust into Him and say, God, I'm scared, I'm scared of this, but you will protect me, I know you will. And having that connection with God is what's going to honestly help you be fearless, right? He sort of acts as a blanket or a shield for you, so you have to think of it in that context. Now, I've got kind of an interesting video. I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's about, I don't know if any of you have heard of the story Abhinami Patta? Yeah. Have any of you heard of it? Put your hand up if you have. Okay, if you have, don't spoil it for anybody. But pretty much, it's just a video I'm going to show you. I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's an example of being fearless and how someone was devotional to God and how it helped him get through his fear. It's about a 7-minute video, but I think it's quite worth it in the sense that it sort of gets the point across. I'm going to play it for you guys. Some of the text and what they say, the dialogue, is in Old Tamil. So if you don't understand anything, it's okay. We'll clear it up after the video. But I just want to get it through because we don't have very much time, so I want to play it as quick as I can.
மன்னா, நான் சொல்லியிருந்தாலுமா உங்களோட மன்னிப்பு கேட்க என் அன்னை சொல்ல வைத்தார், நான் சொன்னேன். அவள் ஆட்டுகின்றாள், நான் ஆடுகின்றேன். அவள் ஊட்டுகின்றாள், நான் உண்கின்றேன். என்னை நெருப்பில் வாட்டி வளைக்க அவள் விரும்பினால் விரும்பட்டுமே. அப்படியானால் இங்கு நிலம் வருவது இன்னமும் நீ நம்பிக்கொண்டிருக்கிறாயா மன்னா?
Okay, so I'll just sort of give you a summary before you get confused. Basically, there's a king that approached the saint, okay? He's a very devotional man. He basically prays all the time to Lord Amman, or also another name is Abhiram, okay? And he one day approaches him at the temple and says, what day is it? And when normally in the olden days, when you ask somebody what day it is, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they ask whether it's a full moon or if it's a no moon or something like that. That's what we call Paurnami or Ammavasa. And this saint says, it's Paurnami, there's a moon, full moon today. And the king says, are you crazy? Look outside, there's no moon. But he kept saying, no, there's a moon, and I'm very certain of it. And the king got very angry and said, if you don't listen to me and say that it's no moon, I'm going to burn you alive in fire. And so basically this is at the point when he's very confident and he's saying, no, this is definitely a full moon, you can burn me or whatever you'd like. My Lord Amman will be there to protect me. So as you can see here, he's being very fearless because he believes in what he's saying. So I'm just going to continue with that.
தெய்வத்திடம் நாம் வைக்க வேண்டியதெல்லாம் நம்பிக்கை ஒன்றுதானே? அது எனக்கு தெரியும். ஆனால் நமக்குள் இருந்த பிரச்சனை என்ன? அமாவாசைக்கு இன்று நிலவு வரும் என்று நீ சொன்னாய். முடிவாக நான் சொல்கிறேன். ஆலயத்தில் சாயங்கால பூஜை அடித்து கொடுப்பதற்குள் பூரை தந்தையை முடியமாகாவிட்டால் உன் சரீரம் என்ற நெருப்பை கரையுங்கள். சொல்லடி அபிராமி.
So he's singing a devotional song. Even though he knows he's going to be burnt alive, he's still singing the song from it. That's a very good example of being, fearless. As you saw, there was no moon at all, but because of his devotion, how he sang for her, and because he was so pure, he was so sincere. That's what I was mentioning earlier. He was so sincere, and he really felt God within him. And that's the important thing. So wherever you go, whichever country you're in, for your school, at home, in class, wherever you are, if you fear anything, just keep thinking to yourself and reminding yourself, God is within you, and just keep thinking to yourself, He's here to protect you, and that's all you can do. Just sort of give your devotion to Him, trust Him, and He will do the best for you. So I just want to leave you with this sort of a idea. Being completely confident in God's protection, such a person will have the necessary confidence to overcome any obstacles. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, that's all for me for today. So I hope you guys